Trade deadline winners and losers. Okay. So that listen, you could have a loser team, but you could have won this trade deadline. There's so many great things that we can get, and we'll get to those in a second. But first, if you need a little sleep tonight, and we all do, because it is the end of the day. It's been a long one, but it's been an exciting one. Sleep Breakthrough is the product for you. It's all natural, guys. It's the thing that gets you to the melatonin, which gets you into the deep REM sleep. It makes you, that feeling when you wake up on a Saturday morning in the summer and you have no chores to do? Yeah, and you're just like, I'm going to frolic today.
Oh,
that's the feeling.
Man, I hope fields nearby are ready to catch this frolic.
It's all natural, so you don't get that dependency. And the thing about it is, because it's a natural formula, you don't get the sleep hangover as well. So no dependency, no sleep hangover. I always thought, I'm like, if I'm taking a sleep aid and I feel groggy in the morning, what was the point? That's the whole thing. You feel groggy if you don't sleep. I do sleep and I still feel groggy. Come on now.
Maturity is knowing the difference between tired and sleepy.
There it is.
Sleepy's fine. Tired's no good.
So check out buyoptimizers.com for Sleep Breakthrough and use the promo code DANGLE. Buyoptimizers.com/DANGLE, promo code DANGLE, 10% off your first order. Now, guys, who wants to start? We'll start with winners. Okay. Who wants to go first, class, for a winner of this year's trade deadline? And I'm almost positive I know what everybody's team is going to be. So only if you pick a team, no one else can pick it. Can't all have the same answer.
Yeah, I like that. All right. I'm not taking any of your teams. My team's the best. My team won the most.
Interesting.
It won the hardest.
Okay, so Adam,
Diamond won.
Here's how I think it's going to go. You're going to say the actual biggest winner that we're all talking about.
No.
I'm going to make it difficult. Jesse's going to do a meme.
Okay. Well, who should start? Do you want me to start then?
I would like you to start. Adam,
Vegas.
just say Vegas.
Thank you. Okay. Thomas Hertl, Anthony Mantha, Noah Hannafin, and it gets even better if Noah Hannafin signs an extension, because you didn't have to go to Calgary and say, hey, can I talk to his agent? And then have Calgary, bend you over a barrel, right? You are absolutely in the best position ever, because Noah Hannafin can come in. He's going to fit in great, and you're going to be able to sign him to extension because it's Vegas. The taxes are crazy. Did you know that it's speculated that Tomas Hertl just saved himself $6 million over the next 6 years just in taxes alone? Moving state to state.
Assuming he's enjoying that information.
Now, that's a bit of a fallacy, because you're assuming that rich people don't have access to things that we poors don't. Or do have access to, and they do.
Yeah, I know he plays for the Czech team, but did you know he's also from the Cayman Islands?
There you go. Yeah. So here's what it is. I think that Vegas, which they've severely underperformed. Vegas right now is sitting underneath Nashville. They had to do something. They had to be bold. We all know this team has a Stanley Cup pedigree. They're defending the Stanley Cup this year.
Yeah, it's not underperformed as much as everyone's heard.
I don't think people are prepared for the fact that Vegas are underneath Nashville right now in the wild card, because that's where they stand as of this recording.
For it.
Well, so this is the thing.
Just made me poop myself.
And so I think that Vegas needed to be bold. And here's the thing. They were bold. So many teams at this deadline needed to be bold, and they did the half measure. Vegas went full bore. They're my winner today. Steve, you go ahead.
This team added a lot for not a lot. The Carolina Hurricanes, real sneaky. I didn't think they needed to add on the decor. We were talking about them moving off of guys, Brett Pesce being one of them. They didn't have to take away from that strength. Goaltending, would it have been nice to add one? Yeah, that would have been nice. They did the other day. You catch that? It's Frederik Andersen. He's back. He looks all right. Up front, where they could use a little bit of depth, they move off of Michael Bunting, who's a fine player. I think he's going to do fine in Pittsburgh. It wasn't a match. Wasn't a match in Carolina. Wasn't going to work. They move off him. They trade, I think it's 3 prospects. Was it 3 prospects?
Mm-hmm.
And not even a hard first for Jake Gensel. That is absolutely monstrous.
When Jake Gensel went to the playoffs the last time, how many goals did he get? There were 7 games.
7 games. He had 8 goals, 10 points, I believe.
And what could the Carolina Hurricanes not do last year in the playoffs, in the Eastern Conference Final?
Score. They could not score, and everyone threw up their arms and went, Bob! Well, it's Bob. I don't even know if Bob is going to be the answer here. And to get Evgeny Kuznetsov at 3.9, I think is a perfect flyer. 3.9 this year, flyer as in risk, not Philadelphia. He's a perfect risk at that number, and they're getting him for that number next year. Oh,
That's beautiful.
Good deal. Good deal. And in my opinion, you did pretty well in those deals. Both of those deals were against teams in your own division.
I am patiently waiting for Jesse Blake's answer now.
I'm not.
Because
Oh my gosh.
Because I want to know, Jesse's sneaky.
Yeah.
Who's your Hershey Bears?
You guys gave us some nice answers. That's all fun, but this team, just because they play in Canada, they go a little under the radar. They're in the central of Canada. And when I look towards the playoffs, I say defense wins championships, and this team leads the league in goals against. Nobody has allowed less goals than this team, and that's the Winnipeg Jets. And the Winnipeg Jets got better, and nobody is giving them the credit they are due for being a dynamic team that can now run out 4 unbelievable lines that also has the best goaltender in the world right now. They're able to stop the puck, and all they needed was a right winger on the second line, and now they have that in Tyler Toffoli. And the Sean Monahan deal, what they gave up was a first and a third, and that third-round pick only has to be sent to the Montreal Canadiens if the Winnipeg Jets end up winning the Stanley Cup, and they might end up sending that third-round pick anyways. So that first and that third is definitely worth it, because this stretch that they had Monahan has solidified that forward group, and now you get even better with Tyler Toffoli there. And I think they've sneakily had the best trade deadline this year. Colin Miller also deadline 3 p.m. deal.
That's
came right
deal.
under the wire. Yep. Colin Miller, that's nothing to sneeze at either. I think the Winnipeg Jets are going to be a problem in the playoffs, because when it gets tough is in the playoffs, and goals are hard to come by, and nobody is better at stopping goals than the Jets this season.
And Toffoli's a good playoff performer, Jesse.
Yes.
The thing about the trade deadline, it's not just, in Vegas's case, it's literally like Power Rangers. Let's strap as much rocket fuel to our ship as possible. But sometimes the best winners at the trade deadline are those who augment their team with a couple of moves that maybe aren't the biggest and splashiest, although Toffoli's pretty splashy, and so was Monahan.
Biggest and splashy.
But this is big. And by the way, I do kind of wonder, guys, with the way the prices went, Sean Monahan wouldn't have been worth a first today.
No,
I think Ken Hughes was smart to take that when he got it.
Yeah, but
I agree.
That's the price you pay for doing it early and getting him on the team.
Yes.
I feel like it was appropriate, and I'm glad that Winnipeg did it and somebody else didn't swoop in there and pay that price, because I feel like other teams would have been willing to pay that, and they ponied up and they did it, and credit to Chevy for having a great fit for the lineup.
He gets accustomed to your lineup faster. It helps you stay in your spot in the standings. No, I don't hate the price.
Like, everybody's so high on Dallas right now because they make their deal. They get the defenseman they're looking for in Tanev. But the Winnipeg Jets have games in hand. If they win their games in hand right now, they will be leading the Central Division. Like they were leading the entire league for quite a while. They fall back a bit, but they're still right there, and they could end up first in the Central by the end of the season and go into the playoffs with nice home ice advantage.
So who are the biggest losers? Now, this is difficult because it means that the fan base that you pick, if this team does well, you're going to have to live with that. You're going to have to eat that. They're going to be tweeting this clip at you, boys. All right? It's me too. Now, who wants to go first? You have a team that you're like, definitively, that's a L at the trade deadline. Look at that face Steve is giving.
I don't want to call them a loser. Because I don't think they lost, but I'm underwhelmed with what the Leafs did. Dude, honestly, they paid I do think Lyubushkin makes them better.
I think the early returns there have been good.
Edmonton helps. Connor Dewar, it's difficult to have an opinion on him. I just learned his name's not Walker. That's the other guy. So. But boy, did they give up a lot of picks for a team that was like, oh, we don't want to give up that first. Yeah, you'll just give up all the other ones.
You'd always trade it down.
My answer I've already ranted about. because the Leafs at very least attempted to get better at hockey, and the Arizona Coyotes made no such attempt. What they got for Zucker and Stetcher and Dumba doesn't help them now. It doesn't help them later. It
helps their owner not have to pay the bills.
That's where we're going.
So it did help them.
Cash in, cash out. It helps them.
I mean, I'd rather him do this than like stiff city council or whatever. But like, it's like, what a disgrace.
Wow. Okay, you're just gonna leave it there. Jesse, do you want to go next or
Sure.
should I?
I'll go next.
Okay.
I should go last because I want to hand out a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh.
Because this Sunday is the Oscars, right? And we all know how Leonardo DiCaprio got his Oscars.
I haven't given my loser pick yet, by the way.
Yeah, but I said I should go last, but I'm going next.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right. You
yeah,
can
but
go last.
damn.
All right. You were allowed to go last.
You said I want to go next. I said, yeah, I'll go next. And I said I should go last because I want to give up my Lifetime Achievement Award.
I'm changing my pick to Adam.
Just like how Leo got his Oscar for The Revenant, and we know, like, hey, he didn't really deserve it, but eventually it came to that point where you just need to give him that Oscar. This team, this trade deadline, they didn't do much, but is the culmination of how they got to this point is why they deserve this over everybody. And that's the Ottawa Senators and Vladimir Tarasenko. Here is your Lifetime Achievement Award for being the biggest loser this entire season.
Good pick.
You bought this offseason in Vladimir Tarasenko. He was not supposed to be a rental. You screwed up this whole season, Pierre Dorian, to this point where we reached the trade deadline. You sold him for a terrible return, and this is just how this entire season for the Senators has gone. Everything has been a mess from Pinto on, from the sale, from them not telling them that they screwed up the Dodonov deal, them losing a first-round pick, the goaltending being the worst in the world. You make one deal on trade deadline day, and that's to sell your big offseason acquisition where you were supposed to make the playoffs this year. Lifetime Achievement Award. You are king losers this year, Ottawa Senators.
Now,
Good answer.
that's a good answer. Tarasenko did say the only team I was willing to waive my no-move clause for was Florida. So if you're underwhelmed by the returns, you can blame Pierre Dorian for signing that contract.
You're lucky they got what they got.
A fucking deal.
You didn't need
They're
to
lucky
do
they
that.
got what they got.
They are lucky. they got what they
Dorian
got.
fucked this franchise for years.
He did.
And it's a
He
shame.
did.
It's a shame because they have
Wow.
good young pieces. They're a fun fan. They have fun fan base, and it sucks.
Damn. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. One that's unpopular. Okay. I'm under
Vegas.
I want to give a notable we still see you to a couple of teams. Okay. But I'm not gonna trash them because one of these teams is really, really good. Okay. I'm gonna give one. You didn't do anything, Detroit Red Wings. This team, you are in the playoffs.
I
Didn't do
like,
anything.
I like that group.
They traded Klim Kostin.
Okay. Wow. Damn. There it is. I'm going to give another one to, and this is again, I don't hate their deadline. I just don't love it considering how they've done. The Vancouver Canucks. And the reason I say that is because they did make the move. They paid a lot for Lindholm and then tried to retrade him. And then found the prices were bargain basement low. Oh my God, you overpaid for because Lindholm, that price for Monahan, you wouldn't have got that today. That price for Lindholm, you wouldn't have got that today.
We definitely thought there was more there.
100%. And I think Vancouver fans are let down because I think they were carrot and stick with Gensel, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the team that I was really hoping for a big swing from was the Edmonton Oilers.
Yep.
The Edmonton Oilers
Well-
are a really, really, really spectacular hockey team. But so are the Colorado Avalanche. And what did they do?
Well, I was going to ask for some time at the end of the video, like honorable mention winner, the Avs.
Absolutely.
I really like what they did.
They moved on from Bowen Byram. Did you see his first shift on the power play? He's like, does anybody play
that
here?
clip that went viral on Twitter of him trying to get people to play the power play. Buffalo might be a bigger mess than we know.
They got out from under Ryan Johansson's contract. Ryan Johansson is now with Lehigh Valley, which is crazy to think.
Absolutely.
In Philadelphia, but Lehigh Valley is their AHL affiliate. So you got that. You got Dallas. They made their move with Tanev. And they got more Dallas, right? They got more Dallas.
Oh, you're putting them as a honorable mention winner.
No, I'm talking about I'm comparing Edmonton to the teams that they got to beat.
Got it. I was like, dude, Dallas is really good.
That's what I'm saying. So are the Avs. The Avs made a move. Sean Walker's a big move, moving the other guys, all that sort of thing. Then you got Dallas making their move early. You got Vegas doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
You got Vancouver, who did make a move. And Lindholm, even though he hasn't worked out that just yet, maybe it's a couple of games more, and then he goes, okay, I figured it out. What did Edmonton do to make sure that Connor McDavid wins a Stanley Cup in the next 2 years? Because that is what needs to happen. We are now tick-tock 2 years. And it's not just because of Connor. It's because of Leon Draisaitl. That contract's up first. It's up at the end of next year, and he is an unrestricted free agent. He is able to sign an extension, but guys, you will never have a better shot.
You're getting over
at winning
50 goals from Zach Hyman.
I guess. Yeah, agreed, 100%. But you're never, if you get another 50-goal season out of Zach Hyman, then amazing. That's incredible.
What I'm saying. Like, there's no guarantee this happens again.
This is the time.
Yeah.
This is the time. Now, there was some sort of rumor out there that Linus Ullmark was almost moved and then nixed the trade because of quote-unquote geography. If that was Edmonton, I respect them for trying. But here's the thing about the Stanley Cup is that nobody cares how many times you tried. 32 teams try every year.
Also, you're on everyone's list. You play in Canada. You're on everyone's list.
Well, here's the other one that's interesting. Okay, I know Calgary probably doesn't want to help their 3 hour up the road rival, but they've made trades before.
Is that how far it is?
It's 3 hours.
I thought they were like an hour.
No,
I know nothing about.
It is the most boring stretch of road you've ever been on in your entire life. The only notable thing that I ever saw on a drive between Calgary and Edmonton is 2 horses.
Oh,
banging
right at the side of the road.
Oh,
it was crazy. It was wild.
You ever driven
middle of winter?
You ever driven to Sarnia?
I have never driven to Sarnia.
That's why I know
you know the pain. So
it's bad.
So Edmonton went after Jake Markstrom a couple of years ago. If they knew Jake Markstrom was on the market, whatever New Jersey was willing to go to on that one, that's the guy. That's the guy. If you can't get Linus, if you can't get him to waive his no trade clause, what about Jake Markstrom? What about these other things? And I don't know that goaltending necessarily is even their Achilles heel. I don't love what they have. Stuart Skinner's been really good, but I feel like give me something. Give me more on that defense. The Edmonton defense, when you compare it to Colorado, who got better, when you compare it to Dallas, when you compare it to Vegas, it's not in the same league. Even have a look at what Quinn Hughes and Philip Roenick are.
Oh, I know.
Are both of them are the best defensemen on the Oilers?
I think the Oilers became more of what they are. Like they got bigger and meaner and
which is great.
More offensively gifted. Boy, that decor is lacking.
Ekholm, Bouchard,
it's an obvious weakness.
Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Desharnais, Kulak, Stacey.
And they're rolling.
They got Stetcher.
Apparently they're rolling out. They've been rolling Kulak, is it Kulak Cece or Cece?
Kulak Cece is the pairings on Daily Faceoff.
Yeah, and it's not been. And Desharnais played with Cece as well. Like that, Stetcher is going to help. I just feel like the Edmonton Oilers. I wanted more. I wanted a bigger swing because, like the Leafs, time is now. Time is now. So we'll see what happens. But those are our winners and losers. We want to know what's yours in the compliment section below. And I'm sure that we've bothered more than a few fan bases with this video. But hey, it's the trade deadline. Enjoy your hockey. All we get to talk about for the next 6 weeks is hockey and playoffs.
Steve.
And I, for one, am here for it.
Steve, what do you think about the Arizona Coyotes and where they play hockey?
It's good. They're making more money now than they did a couple years ago. What's the problem?
No, they're losing less.